Hello there! Welcome to our blog. I'm Andy and this time I'm running solo without Minna. Minna and I have many things in common. Heck, we even share the same birthday, just so that we won't ever forget each other's birthday. But there's one thing that is vastly different between the two of us, and that is, ta-da, alcohol. The way I see it, there are two types of people. The type who likes to drink and the type who doesn't. I am a social drinker and I do enjoy drinking amongst a bunch of friends. But Minna rarely drinks. She has in her DNA an alcohol flush reaction, meaning that she would turn beet red even just after a few tiny sips of wine. And according to her, alcohol just makes her all just itchy and uncomfortable. She more or less stays away from drinking altogether. But I do enjoy a glass of wine every now and then, and there are a lot of debate over whether red wine is good for your health or not. Some of the health benefits include boosts heart health, it improves cholesterol, it fights free radical damage, it boosts your immune system, it helps manage diabetes, it helps prevent Alzheimer's, and it may fight obesity and weight gain. Sounds pretty awesome, right? What makes red wine so special is that red wine is loaded with antioxidants, particularly flavonoids such as quercetin and resveratrol. These two antioxidants boost many of the body's processes, especially your heart health. What is the benefit of having these two powerful antioxidants? Well, all chronic diseases stem from inflammation, which is caused by oxidation of your cells. So anything that fights free radical damage and lowers inflammation is a good thing for your health. Both resveratrol and quercetin helps fight free radical damage, they slow the effects of aging, and they reduce inflammation. Resveratrol helps boost heart health through better blood circulation. It fights oxidative stress, it boosts your immune system, it slows down your aging, and it promotes mental health and prevents Alzheimer's. Quercetin helps with allergies, it raises the good HDL cholesterol, it helps prevent atherosclerosis, which is the hardening of the arteries. It fights infections, it stabilizes blood sugar, and it boosts physical performance. You guys like the last two, right? But before you start drinking bottles of red wine, all these health benefits happen only if you drink in moderation. Moderation doesn't mean you drink until you're almost completely drunk. Drinking in moderation means no more than 2 5-ounce glasses per night for men and only 1 glass of wine for women. Sorry ladies, it's not a competition. Where there are pros, there must be cons, right? The antioxidants in red wine may have some health benefits, but there are also downsides to drinking too much alcohol, even with red wine. Alcohol is a powerful neurotoxin that can poison your brain and damage your liver and all your other organs. Almost all wines that you consume can have up to 76 additives added to them. The additives serve as aroma enhancers, stabilizers, preservatives, and clarifying agents for the wine. If you're interested in finding out what these additives are, click on the link that contains all 76 additives that are actually approved by FDA to put into wines. Just a word of caution though. Being approved by FDA doesn't mean they are good for your health. It pretty much just means it won't kill you in the short term. Some example of these additives are sulfur dioxide or sulfites, which is used to kill yeast and bacteria to disinfect your wine. Sulfur dioxide may cause reactions like dermatitis, asthmatic reactions, diarrhea, and even abdominal pains. Second, don't buy lower price fortified wines as they may have little or no nutritional value. Also, red wine is generally high in calories. I have friends that eat less food so that they can save the calories just so they can drink their wine. On average, a 5-ounce glass of red wine has about 125 to 150 calories. Wines in general are not carb-free or sugar-free because they may have leftover sugar when it was treated with sulfites, which kills the yeast early, and sometimes wineries even add sugar back into wine to achieve a sweeter palate. So, I've been struggling with this dilemma about drinking red wine for a long time until I found these special wines. What's so special about these wines that we ordered? If you've been following us lately, you know that we have modified our daily diet to be mainly a ketotarian diet. We chose not to go full ketogenic because there are specific foods that are allowed on a keto diet that aren't necessarily healthy. Our ketotarian diet is high in fiber and antioxidants with no processed carbohydrates. Our diet is mostly plant-based, including healthy fats and lean proteins. Every now and then we'll throw in a nice piece of steak just because we do enjoy a nice piece of steak, especially if it's grass-fed once in a while. We consider ourselves biohackers, and we are constantly looking for ways to get more health benefits from our foods. So naturally, we wanted to source out wines with the benefits and less of the downsides. Almost every Sunday, we show up at our local farmers market to source out locally grown produce that are in season. We prefer to eat organic fruits and vegetables whenever possible. And even comparing organics to organics, the produce that we can buy from farmers markets are just fresher and more vibrant than something that we can find from Whole Foods. It's like you can see and feel the love and care that a small family puts into the produce. While larger conventional organic farms may grow their foods organically, but they still may use quite a few approved chemicals to fertilize and to control pests. We usually don't see wines at farmers markets, so we have to look elsewhere to find clean, natural wines. And we believe we just found the best wines you can buy based on how these are made. The red wines that we bought are all natural, meaning there are no additives. Remember the list of 76 approved chemicals that most wineries use? Who knows what long-term effects these additives have on your body? None of these natural wines have any chemicals in them. These wines are so special because only around 0.1% of all winemakers in the world are natural winemakers. They also use wild native yeast for full fermentation, which requires a lot more care and produces much smaller volume since they are more finicky with the conditions. Conventional wineries use GMO yeast that can be used to make big batches and is more tolerant to different conditions. Conventional wineries also use sulfites, the sulfur dioxide that we talked about, to kill the GMO yeast and any other bacteria to sterilize the wine for better shelf life. In doing so, the yeast does not get fully fermented and has sugars left in the wine. Not all bacteria are bad. Some are actually quite beneficial to the gut, but the sulfites kill all the bacteria before the wine is even bottled. These natural wines that we bought do not use sulfites, and therefore they are fully fermented. And these natural wines are truly alive with good bacteria. What does that mean? Wine is made by adding yeast to grape juice. Then the yeast eats all the sugar, producing alcohol and carbon dioxide as products. In a full fermentation, the yeast eats all the sugar and then dies, leaving the wine essentially sugar-free. Did you catch that? These wines are sugar-free. Since we're ketotarian, we try to avoid all processed foods and anything with sugar. These wines fit our diet perfectly because they're essentially sugar-free, and we have tested our blood sugar before and after without seeing any glucose spikes. Another benefit of being sugar-free is they are lower in alcohol and that they have less calories. Our natural wines have only about 90 to 105 calories per 5-ounce pour, compared to conventional wines which have 125 to 150 calories. And did we mention that they are lower in alcohol? Our natural wines have about 10 to 12.5%, as opposed to conventional wines which normally has up to 15% alcohol. Less alcohol content means less chance of hangover the next day. Alcohol is not your friend. Too much alcohol can damage your internal organs, so microdosing is the key to avoiding any of the negative side effects of consuming too much alcohol. And these wines are dry farmed. What does that mean? Dry farming means there was no irrigation used to grow the grapes. This sustainable farming practice is used all over the world. Without sprinklers or water pipes, the vines are stressed in the best way possible. They grow deeper into the soil, typically up to 50 to 60 feet, compared to a typical American irrigated grapevine vineyard, which has a root ball about 2 to 3 feet deep and 2 to 3 feet wide. This allowed the dry farm vineyards to draw more vital nutrients and minerals from their soil. Research has shown dry farming produces an environmental trigger in the grape's DNA to express genes that result in higher polyphenol levels in the wine, which is a good thing. Carb-free, sugar-free, and hangover-free wine with all the benefits of regular wet wine and none of the drawbacks. I can't wait to share this with our friends over the coming holidays. Till next time, love what you live and live what you love.